Hi everyone, welcome to the seventh episode of What Authors Think. And today we are in conversation with the author called Niilshree. She has authored several books and she's also the founder and editor of an e-magazine. So Nilshree ji, how are you feeling that like we are discussing about all we are going to discuss about all of your books and magazine as well. So how are you feeling? Excitement, nervous? What is that?
No, nervousness is never there because I also host and podcast, so the nervousness is definitely not there. And when we are talking about books as an author, you also know how excited, how happy it feels to talk about our book babies. And yes, the journey has been exciting, and today I look forward to uh, talk about all of my books because I have come live on my personal profile after a long time. I keep
That's
coming live on Authorpod handle, but this one is happening after a really long time. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
That's good. That's good. So, this will be the first episode where before jumping to the book, I'm going to ask the author to, tell about themselves to the audience because you have a lot to speak about. As I have read your bio, so I want you to, speak about yourself for a minute to the authors so that, they will know what you are and everything about you.
Sure. My name is Nilshree. I am an engineer by qualification, and I have worked for corporate as well. I took my maternity break in the year 2015, and after that, I had no clue what to do. So in 2018, when my son turned 3, it was the first time I shared my writings publicly on his birthday, his third birthday, and it was well received by all the known circle. So that was the time when I started actually sharing my writings, and from then the writing has never stopped. I published my first book in the year 2021 and sorry 20, and then 20 and 21 each year there were 3 books. So I have 6 books in my name, but then from 2022 I started working on Authoropod and personal writings took a backseat. So that is about me.
But but you have worked a lot, like you're saying you have written three books in a year for consequently 2 years. That's a lot, being along with being a mother of a toddler. So that's a lot, and that's very appreciable. So now we'll start with the last book which has been published. What's it called? Tell
It is a
the
it is a
audience
book
about it.
named
Yeah.
Hear Me Out. This is the book.
Okay.
And I would also like to clarify all the 6 books. They are compiled, co-authored by me, but 3 of them are anthologies and 3 are solo books. So I may not be as talented as you're thinking, but yes, anthology compiling is also a task. I have co-authored and edited the anthology and published as well. So this was the last one. Uh, we have a group of our own, a close knit group, and around Women's Day we do something. But this one released on Mother's Day in the year
Okay.
2021. This book is about the daily life stories or the struggles of women, and there's one common character in this book named as Asha, and she is showing them some solutions, or she is also learning with them, that you have to find out with each story when you read the book. If we have a lot of Marathi audiences here, I would like to share the concept of the book, like where it struck me. There was a series named Man Suddha Tuza that was being aired on ABP Maza during the COVID times. In that also there is one common character, the psychiatrist or the doctor, who which is played by Swapnil Joshi. So that's where the inspiration came to me, and we tweaked that idea and worked on it. That's how 13 stories in this book are penned down.
That's really interesting. So is it like what genre it falls in?
It uh, I would call it fiction, and it is a collection of stories, but the stories are very much relatable. At least every woman who reads this book will find them relatable. So to some extent, these are real problems, but they are given a form of fiction.
So that was my next question, before question you answered it. So like I believe that, every fiction has some part of the author. So in that book, particularly Hear Me Out, what are the parts which are actually related to you, if you have to, brief about it?
Okay. Uh, I have written two stories in this book. The
Okay.
first one, which is a homemaker's struggle to convince her family that she's doing enough. That is uh, very much a personal struggle, and I don't shy away from saying that publicly as well. Every homemaker struggles to convince her family that she's already doing enough. She can't do any more. And the second story that is written again, which is penned by me, is struggle of a very close friend, and she was a colleague also when I was working. She could not conceive. So the title of that story is Childless Mother.
Okay.
And obviously, I have not used her name. The name has been disguised, but that is a real story. There are many other stories which are real also. So for that, I would request the audiences to read the book itself.
No, that's really interesting, because when the author says the story are relatable to everyone else, plus themselves more, it is a part of their story, that makes the story itself very interesting. So for the audience, you can get the book on Amazon, and you can, simply search the book called Hear Me Out. Through the name of Nilshree, you will get the book. And as she is saying, all the stories are very relatable. And for every female, at least, you will find yourself in the book. So you can just go and find it on Amazon and please order it. So before moving to the next question, I want you to know what all books you are having. Are you having all the books in your hand right now?
No, I don't have all of them right now. I do have a few copies, but I'll have to get them.
Okay, so
So I'll just talk about those books.
yeah, just
Yeah,
tell the title of the book and a little brief about every book of yours.
sure, sure, I'll do that. So the first book that I published is entitled Object plus If is equal to I. This book is divided into 5 sections, and it basically consists of the life lessons that we get to learn from things around us. So maybe nature or basic objects as bicycle, camera, and then there are game forms, art forms, and games that you and me we may have played during our childhood. Uh, this book is basically inspired by my son. I used to teach him these things, and then I started writing single posts on my Facebook page. And one day, one of my readers came up to me and said, "This is a bookish material. You should publish it." So then, after that, I thought about it and worked around the whole structure of the book. That is how the first book came into picture. The second one, Whispers of a Budgie, is again a self-help book for homemakers uh, to keep themselves sane with all the chores and all the things, all the responsibilities that they do. The basic focus is on that. The third book is an anthology which was released on Women's Day, stamp sealed but unsent. It is a collection of 27 letters, and these letters are written either to living beings or non-living beings. Uh, these letters were actually something that all these 27 authors wanted to say or share, but they did not know the destination of those letters. So that is the reason why we have compiled a book, and it is available on Kindle as well. All of my books are available on Kindle. So if you are on Kindle Unlimited, you can read them for free. This was the third book. The fourth one is Anime Express. Anime Express is very similar to Object plus If is equal to I, but the motive behind writing Anime Express was to reduce the screen time of children. They are glued to screens, and most of the times the reason is animated movies, since the duration of those movies is 2.5 hours. So instead of that, they can read this book. This book has the story of the movie as well as the life lessons that they get to learn from those movies. So this is the fourth book. The fifth one is Hear Me Out, and the sixth one is The Road That Was Taken. Uh, this book again is the struggle of all the authors in our group, and I know them personally, so they are juggling into many roles. They have their own businesses. They run some venture there wherein they provide services. Like Shubham, you have interviewed Vinisha in past. So
Yes.
Vinisha is also a tarot card reader and a podcaster herself. So uh, what are our struggles? Juggling between different roles. That is what we have shown in this book through our stories. So yes, that is about all my 6 books.
But genuinely as an author and as a reader also, all the titles of the book and all the stories which you are sharing, which you are briefing in 1 minute, are really interesting. And the most important part is that every person can connect to it. It is not
Yes,
something out of out of the world that a person is getting murdered, or any sort of mystery or horror which the person reads but they cannot connect to sometimes, because it
yes,
doesn't
yes,
happen to everyone. So this is something really interesting about the books. But one thing I have observed, from all the titles of your books, that there is some hidden voice which you want to be heard. So is it the motto, like, particularly any incidents or particular any life lessons which you want to give from yourself to the people around through these books?
I would say kindness is the biggest virtue that we can, that does not cost anything and we can easily spread it. So this world, which is gradually becoming I won't say bad, but then a tough place to live in, wherein there are trust issues and there are many, many more issues which you and me, we might not even know at this point of time. So being kind to each other, even if it is immediate family member, our friends, or someone whom we may know but we have not kept in touch, it's easy to judge people, but it is difficult to show kindness. So I think if each one of us shows kindness, because there have been times when I felt really very, very lonely. Uh, that marks when so imagine a girl who is working in and out, and then she suddenly comes across a break. So there was no socializing that was happening in my case, and then there were all of my schedule that was revolving around my child. So I'm not complaining, but then this shift in life that happens requires a lot of support also. So if you know someone who is going through these phases, show kindness to them. At least show them that you are available for them. They can talk to you whenever they feel like. So that would be the biggest, I would say, achievement. If I say and someone follows, that would be my biggest achievement.
That's really, inspiring, because and you're talking about all these issues, you are bringing it in front, because people hesitate way too much about speaking all these issues, because somewhere they believe that if you are a female, if you are a mother, then this is a natural process. But again, what the lady is feeling, that no one appreciates, so through your writing, you're bringing all these topics out, is really appreciable.
It took
Thank you
time
for
for me
writing.
also to show that courage and bring it into limelight, because yes, these things are big and they matter. Uh, they do matter. It's a big shift in life. It's a big, I would say, change that comes in life. So if we make it easy for her to accept that change, it becomes easier for her also. If we accept it easily, maybe she would find it easier to move ahead in life.
True. So, what were the challenges? Like we're talking about, your motherhood, and earlier you were working also in a company. So, what were the shift in the your life that that happened, that when you dropped the job to completely look after your child, and what was the phase? And now, when you look back, how do you feel about it?
My main problem, Shubham, was that my talent was not being used to the level it should have been. So that was something that was eating me from inside. uh, I had to do something. It was not fame, it was not recognition that I was looking for, and not even financial support or financial stability. Right now, also, I'm not financially pretty much independent, I can call. Yes, I do earn little bit for myself, but then that cannot be called financial independence. Uh, that was not the motto. It took me a while to realize that whatever. my abilities, my capabilities are not being put to use, and that was making me frustrated. So something to do, and as I mentioned, the 3 years of gap from 2015 to 18, that did not go in a jiffy. There were a lot of things that I juggled, I tried to sort of find where I can express myself best. But then writing came to me at the most unexpected time. As I mentioned, it was it was on my son's third birthday that I realized that I can write well. There were a lot of things that I juggled, and th- uh, I did not even think of seeking external help uh, to find what is wrong with me. That is what we are trying to actually normalize with this book. The character that I talked about, Asha, is helping these women. To some, she's meeting on the road. They are just crossing the road together and they have a chat. As simple as that. So, seeking help when needed is not a big thing. That is what I would say from my journey. And today, when I look back, I feel very proud of myself. There are times when I have compensated on my sleep. I've skipped my meals to get things done. But then it's all worth it. Today, I feel proud of myself.
That's good. That's really beautiful, To feel proud about yourself, that is the most important thing. Because no matter how much good you do, people will judge you anyways. So what you do, you should be satisfied about it.
Yes, yes, that is more important, I think.
Yes, yes. So when we talk about this writing books, so what were the challenges you faced, when it comes to writing, and when it comes to writing, like, working on 3 books in a year?
That time it was very easy. Writing has never been a problem to me, and to for that matter, I did not even face a writer's block any time in my life, because my writing inspirations have come from the incidents that are happening around me, or the lives, uh, people, the incidents that they are facing around. That has been my inspiration. So there was never a writing block that came. The major struggle now that I face is on World Book Day. I had promised on my Instagram post that in 2023 I'll be releasing 2 books. I right now also my laptop is in front of me. The manuscripts are ready, but somehow there's no time to publish those books. So that is the struggle, because of obviously because of Authorpod. There is a that is a bigger challenge again, to get in touch with people, to work on their pieces that they have sent and then publish them, release one edition every 3 months. That becomes sort of another Herculean task, I would say. So previously, writing and publishing was not a problem. Now also writing is not a problem, but publishing is. I'm not getting enough time to dedicate, because you also know, once we release the book, we have to work on it to promote it. So it is not only the writing or the publishing part, but then there's a different story that happens after the publish of the book. So
So after being published, I can connect with it. That before finishing any book, we think that writing is the biggest part. I read somewhere, and I can relate to it completely. I believe you can also. That once you finish writing, then you realize it is just the 25% of what you actually have to do. The biggest part is promoting it, and it comes with a hell lot of challenges.
absolutely, I agree.
So, like for the audience, if you have any questions, you need to ask to Nilshree about the books or about the magazine we are going to talk about now. Then you can please write down in the comment section. We can answer it. So now moving on to the most important part of this, interview. So just tell about the e-magazine you are the founder and editor of.
Okay, so we just now discussed that promoting is the biggest challenge that we as authors face these days. So that was the intent. I thought of whenever I connected with authors, the main issue they faced was how to promote our books. How to make sales happen. If not even if sales, but then at least the name reaches a bigger audience, or our book gets a better exposure. So that is the time when I thought of coming up with this platform. And Authoropod is an e-magazine. It is a quarterly e-magazine. It is available to read for free on our website. Uh, we have released our January edition just now, and we have crossed the mark of 600 reads on that. It's been 2 weeks, no, 10 days to be precise. 10 days, and we have crossed the mark of 500 reads. So I would request the audiences, it's not only about authors, it is also about readers who are interested in reading, so they get to know about new books that they can, add to their shelves. That would be the real success of the magazine. If someone reads about a book and buys the book and, reads it, so that is the real success of our magazine. I also host a podcast with the same name, Authoropod, and we have completed 3 seasons of it, almost 36 episodes. So, yes, that is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make a platform for all the authors to, promote their work.
That's really interesting. So basically, the motto behind is to promote other self-published authors, right?
Yes, yes. Not only self-published authors, any author for
Anyone.
that matter. These days, yeah, yeah.
Then I'm coming to you after the interview
Sure.
for the next edition. So after this, like when we're talking about this magazine, where people can read it exactly? Just
It is on our website. I'll share the link. It's authoropod-magazine.versal.app. It is all our previous editions as well as all the podcast episodes are there, uh, available. You can listen and you can read all the editions for free. Our next edition, the April edition, is going to be the second anniversary edition, 9th edition.
Wow, that's good. Okay. So moving on to the next question, Vinisha is appreciating you a lot, and there are people, Rajgopal Mistry, kudos Nilshree, definitely. Vinisha is appreciating your hard work, and I guess you got a big fan following. There is someone called Pricket Inside Object Plus. If I have
Tanvi,
been,
Tanvi.
it have been my favorite. You already got a lot of
So
people who
these
loves
are
your
all
work.
friends who support, they're just, this is just a seamless support and love that I get, and that inspires me to work more. Vinisha is another team member from Authoropod only. She has been a dear friend since 2018. So before my book released, I had consulted with her about the book release itself. So she had predicted it will happen in 21 and it happened.
Oh, that's good. I have interviewed Vinisha as well. I believe Vinisha was in this book of letters
Yes,
you said, right? Uh,
yes. He is in Hear Me
Unsent.
Out as well.
Okay, okay, nice, nice. You both are good team members.
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to the next question, which is my favorite question again. So you are an author, you are a mother, you have been an engineer, and you also working on an e-magazine promoting other authors. So how do you juggle and manage all these works? This is difficult. So I just want to know the secret behind it and the audience as well.
Oh, it is not easy. I won't, make it feel that way. It's not easy at all. As I already mentioned, my personal writings have taken a backseat. The other thing is a lot of my time goes into designing of the magazine because I do it myself from the scratch. So after the release of the magazine, Akshay from our team is the one who keeps the check of the stats on the website. The only thing I've been doing is I'm been sleeping. I'm taking my hearty sleep because there's a lot that has happened last few days. So I won't say it's easy. Time managing is another, with a child around, there is no thing that happens as per the given time. So if I'm saying 2:30, I have been able to join at 2:30 because he is in school. Otherwise, uska 2:45 3 hota tha if he would have been around. So that is how it
Okay.
works. I only work like I uh, I would say schedule my task as per the priority. So whenever I am collaborating with someone, I ask them before कि पहले बताइए deadline क्या है. If I am able to work around only, then I commit. Otherwise, I say okay, sorry, this is a very short time. I won't be able to make it. So let us collaborate next time. That is how I have kept it for myself because then otherwise there's no point in committing and not showing up.
Exactly.
That's what I feel. Yeah.
Okay. So it is more about, everything and every story about you is more about motherhood, I believe. It is your, second birth, I guess, after being a mother.
Yes.
So, how old is your son?
Now he's 8.5.
8.5. So now this is the correct age. So do your son, considers you as a role model?
Oh, I don't know that, but he's my biggest cheerleader. He's constantly there. So he knows whatever I'm writing. From my books to my blogs to poems to my Instagram captions. He knows everything. He's next to me.
Okay.
So yeah, and if there is someone who has modeled all of my books, pictures and all leke, so it is my son.
Wow. Okay. So now, the next questions are coming from here, and it is going to be difficult. You can, if you don't find the questions comfortable, you can say so. But anyways, you have to answer it, right?
Yeah.
There is no. Okay. So the questions are like, usually it happens that, when a kid believe in their parents a lot, so
Mhm.
there is a chance that, they for the lifetime they inculcate and, they adapt the negative habits of the parents as well and portray
Yes.
in a positive way. So
Mhm.
what are the habits of yours which you don't want your kid to inculcate?
I don't want him to scroll reels mindlessly.
Okay.
That's what I have stopped doing in front of him. I do that after he sleeps. So these days the reels are lesser.
Okay.
Obviously, we can't spare ourselves from screen. I'm not saying that he will have a zero screen time. He does watch cartoons and he plays game on the phone. But there was a time when both of us, he being next to me, 2.5 hours, we are just scrolling reels, and then I realized this is not good for him. I understand it is entertainment point of view, but then one day he came up to me and said, "Mama, I want to see that reel we saw that day. That girl was doing this dance and all of that." And I was like, "No, this is not happening." So that was the day when I stopped watching reels with him, and I do it when he sleeps in his absence. There are many other things that I would not, want him to take from me, and I'm gradually working towards it. That he should not let others take him for granted. So that's what
Okay.
my motto for half of 2023 and New Year resolution is, that I want to draw healthy boundaries, even if it is him. So I've started telling him no, even if it is sharing a chocolate or ice cream. If I want it, I'm not going to share it with you. That is my healthy boundary. You have yours, I'll have mine. That's it. Saying no is, I have to teach him, and not being taken for granted by others is what I have to teach him. So for that, I have to inculcate that in myself first, so that he observes me and acts accordingly.
You are a very insightful parent, that I can say. You know,
Thank you. That is a big compliment.
no, literally, because like we're discussing, the stories you wrote about is somewhere related to parenthood, the conversation we are having, and we are literally thinking about every aspect, how it will affect your kid.
Yeah.
So when it comes to social media, these days, social media is, affecting kids in different ways, whether it is positive or negative. So, what's your take on that when it comes to your kid? Are there any fears or you're scared of anything when it comes to social media, apart from simply wasting the time?
Uh, uh, yes, I am now, because now there are moments when he says that he's not comfortable sharing particular picture. So previously I used to do that. I mean, with he did not even know. He used to know that what mama is writing with the picture, but which picture is going to be shared, he did not know. So one day he came and said, "No, I don't want this picture to go." And then what I simply did was, I instead made a Canva creative and posted the caption with that. So I think there are moments when he says, "Mama, I've made this drawing. Can you post it on Instagram stories?" And I'm like, "Okay, one time we can do it, but not every time." So he's like, "Okay, aren't we supposed to post it every time?" Then I said, "No, you're not supposed to post it every time." "Do I constantly post stories on Instagram?" Then he says, "No." Okay, okay. So that's
Okay.
when, uh, and also the other part of social media is, see, being a homemaker, I have, physically networking, I have not done much. there were very less moments when I got to socialize. It is from this Pune Book Fair and Pune Literature Festival that I started stepping out of the house. Otherwise, everything was happening from, I was doing work from home and work for home, both of them. So now that I have started stepping out, and I have already have really good friends through social media also, which he knows. So he's like, one day he came up to me and said one of his friends' name and said, "Mama, search his name on Instagram." And I said, "No, kids are not there on Instagram. Their parents can be." So I knew where it is going ahead. So he was like, "When can I have my profile?" And I said, I think you are ready for it, then you'll have your own profile. Till then, you won't have your own profile." So these are the things, but then I am blessed and I'm grateful that the moment I explain him some things, he readily, adapts to it, he accepts it. That is another virtue of him that I should appreciate. So for me, it has not been that tough, because once I make him understand, he is okay. Okay, fine. If it is like this, then I'll do it that way.
And that's beautiful. He's very cooperative.
Yes.
Okay, so coming back to the last question, we have now asked you that what are the qualities you don't want in him from you. Okay, so what are the qualities of yours which you think that he should get in the life?
I think my stubborn nature of
Okay.
not giving up. Once I decide, I make it happen. Uh, Sometimes it may, it may not, it does cost me compensating on my personal health. But then eventually I do get it done. I know this is not a very good thing to say, but this also somewhere came from him only, because one day he was asking me during the COVID times. Everybody was working from home, my husband, my mother-in-law, my brother-in-law, and he was like, "Mama, you just do these things, cook, clean, and all of that. Everybody is working from home, what do you do?" So that was the time when I said, "No, I have to do something for myself," so that he knows that there are things that, apart from, domestic work, that are to be done. And then one day when I received a compliment for my writing, he came up to me and asked, "Did you do engineering to learn writing? Did they teach you writing there?" And I said, "No, they did not teach writing there." So, yeah, I mean, these are the things which I think he should take from me, to try to be solution centric rather than being problem centric, cribbing ki ye nahi ho raha hai, hey, sorry, ye nahi ho raha hai, what do I do now? So I want him to be more of solution centric, ki what can be done instead of focusing on what can't be done. So yeah, these two, three things are the things which I want him to pick up from me.
That's really beautiful. That story you told recently, just now. So somewhere the curiosity of a kid answered the question said in you. That that you wanted to write, but you were not doing it because of any reason. And the moment your kid asked you that why you're not doing anything, and you came up that okay, this was hidden somewhere, you wanted to work, but it came all of a sudden you started doing. That's
Yes.
really good. Perfect. So now again, all the questions, although in this interview are my favorite, but this one is the most favorite question. So my point is like you have written so many stories and so many books. So which story or which book is your favorite if you have to name only one?
I can't. I simply can't,
I
because
want you
uh,
to.
each of them has happened on different times, and each of them are favorite for different reasons. Uh, it's very difficult, actually. You've put me in a tough situation, Shubham.
You can name two. You can name two. It's okay.
Okay, if it has to be two, then it will be object plus if is equal to I, because another the same reason, it happened parallelly when I was teaching basic things to my son, and it's very close to my heart, because that book is like the elder child with whom you experiment. It was previously published with a publishing house, and later on I self-published it, canceling the contract. So, and till date, it is doing pretty fine, pretty well. So that is my debut book, and Second favorite would be Whispers of Budgie because again, 80% of that book is my personal journey. So yes, it is very close to my heart.
That's beautiful, and the great part is that all the titles of your books are very intriguing and very interesting. So
Thank you.
because if the title is interesting, then the readers have more chances of going to that particular book. Because
Yes.
yeah, so this happens. So this is the great quality about your books. So now moving on to the last question. So what is the process of getting the work published for any author in the magazine?
Magazine. Okay. It is very simple. You can either DM us on Instagram, you can email us at authoropod@gmail.com, or you can visit our website as well. We are open on all three channels to accept submissions. On our website, there is a proper Google form wherein you can submit all the details. And even if you DM us or email us, we are going to give you the same Google form because all the, all the what we say, things we need from you, your name, your email ID, and then your content, can be systematically taken from there. So we are eventually going to redirect you to the Google form only. But just in case you do not find the website, you can DM us on our Facebook page, on our Instagram handle, or you can email us simply.
That's perfect. So it was a really lovely session. And this was also the first interview of 2024,
Oh, wow.
which finally Instagram, made it possible so beautifully. So thanks to
Yes.
Instagram and thanks to Nilshree for joining us. It was really wonderful and different session than the usual ones. And thank you to all the audience for joining with us. And if you are interested in reading the books and more about Nilshree's stories, then you can simply go to Amazon and search the name, or you can DM to Nilshree if you're not getting the particular books, then she will guide you forward.
Sure, sure. You have been an amazing host, Shubham. Thank you. And thank you to all the listeners as well for sticking around for this long. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.